The AFL playoffs are finally here. 4 teams will battle for the Arena Bowl title.
And we're going to get you caught up on everything you need to know about the postseason right now on Wall to Wall.
Welcome into Wall to Wall. After 3 months of regular season action, it's time now for the AFL playoffs.
You ready? I'm ready. So let's go ahead and get to it and break it down and show how we do it.
That's right. I'm Meredith Gorman.
And I'm Wes Hall, and we're going to be here each week getting you caught up on everything you need to know about the AFL playoffs this year.
But first, let's take a look at how the AFL postseason works.
All right, so first of all, it's all about the matchups. You've got the Albany Empire sitting at number 1. They're going to take on the number 4 seed, the Baltimore Brigade. Then the number 2 Washington Valor take on the number 3 Philadelphia Soul. Now, here's the deal. It's a home and home series. That means both teams get a home game. And the cool part about it is aggregate scoring. If you don't know what that is, whoever has the most points after 2 games advances.
It's that simple, and of course, it all culminates with Arena Bowl 32, August 11th on ESPN2.
All right, enough with the format. Now it's time to break down the teams that are going to be playing.
And first, let's start things off with the number 1 seed, the Albany Empire. They finished the regular season 10-2, and they're carrying a lot of momentum into the postseason. They just annihilated the Philadelphia Soul in their last regular season home game, 72-27, the biggest margin of victory in the AFL this season. And you look at their offensive weapons, Tommy Grady. He's got his Grady bunch of receivers in Malachi Jones and Quentin Sims. And of course, on the other side of the ball, there's some talent in Joe Sykes and of course, the rookie Tevin Homer. They're going to be a big challenge for the Baltimore Brigade that has to play them next week.
And speaking of the Baltimore Brigade, you're talking about a defensive-minded team, the number 1 defense in the league, led by a man by the name of Joe Powell, along with Josh Victorian in that secondary. These guys are ball hawks. They know what to do when they get a chance to make a play on the defensive side of the ball. But on the offensive side of the ball, you've got Shane Boyd, the quarterback. Think about this. Joe Hills is on a streak right now with 103 games in a row with a touchdown catch. This matchup is definitely going to be one you're looking forward to watching.
Now let's take a look at the number 3 seed, the Philadelphia Soul, who still are riding some momentum. They've won 4 out of their last 5 games. Veteran quarterback Dan Radaba has a whole slew of offensive weapons, led by Darius Prince, who is in the top 3 in the league in catches, yards, and touchdowns. On defense, James Romaine, arguably one of the best defensive players in the league, has 8 picks on the season. They'll be a tough team to play against.
So that leads us to the number 2 seed, the Washington Valor, the defending AFL champions, led by Coach Benjamin McDowell, who took over the team at the latter part of last season and brought in his quarterback, the league leader in rushing, Arvell Nelson. Something about a guy who can get it done in the air and on the ground. And his receiving core, and the entire team for that matter, have the mantra of the 3 Musketeers, all for one and one for all. And when you have Desmond Epps, Doug McNeil, big play Reggie Gray, these guys can get it done on that side of the ball. But don't forget about the defense. You got Mario Norman and the commissioner, Jimmy Gordon, holding it down. These guys are intense. They play hard. They never back down. And remember, they're still trying to defend that title. All right, so now we know about the teams, but I think it's time for game time. And to be honest, I have absolutely no idea what we're about to do. But producer Dan does, so he's here to help us out a little bit. Dan, literally, what have you done? What is
Wes, Meredith, you've been talking about the teams. It's time to have a little bit of fun. So for this game, you're going to have 60 seconds to create your own crossword using the 6 names of the teams. I'm talking Empire, Valor, etc., etc. Okay? You ready for this? So I'm going to get off the couch. I'm going to give you a 5-second countdown. You'll have 60 seconds to create your own crossword.
With how many teams again?
6 teams.
6 teams.
Just the names, not the cities. So not the Washington Valor, just the Valor.
Just the Valor.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh.
30 seconds.
Wait.
That doesn't help. Come on, man. Dang it. You're cheating.
I know
you're
I'm
cheating. It's got to make sense.
15 seconds.
Oh, come on, man. I know the names. I'm just trying to make them fit. Okay, well, actually.
4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down.
I only left one out. I went.
You have the Philadelphia Soul. So you end up throwing the city in there. All right, not bad. Can't have these two next to each other. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know if you're gonna win this one. All right, here we go. So we got Destroyers, Empire, Brigade, Valor, Soul.
And the one that I was missing was the Blackjacks.
All right, guys, this was fun. I hope this was a little challenging for you.
It was.
Enough of the fun and games. It's time for our next segment.
Well, as you can see, I'm hyper competitive and I don't like losing. However, I have found something that I guarantee you I cannot lose. It's point counterpoint. Meredith and I are going to take you through both matchups this weekend, and we're going to pick a team, and I'm willing to guarantee you that I'm probably going to win this one. I'm taking Baltimore in the Empire Brigade series. It's all about the Brick Squad. These guys on defense, they lead the league in every statistical category that matters on defense. Look it up. Joe Powell, Josh Victorian, those guys you want to keep your eye on. But on the offensive side, you think about Brandon Collins, Joe Hills, 6 touchdowns they had combined against the Empire when they met up this one time this year. And oh, by the way, the Brigade won that game. And that's why it's all about the Brick Squad.
Wes, I know you hate losing, but it's going to happen this weekend. The Empire have this one in the bag. They were the top team in the regular season the entire time. They have the best offense in the league, led by Malachi Jones and Quentin Sims, who've combined to score 54 touchdowns this season. That's more receiving touchdowns than the Baltimore Brigade has scored all year. Lastly, home field advantage is a real thing, and Albany is 5-1 on the season at home. So they're going to be pretty tough to beat. Next, let's take a look at the second matchup of the weekend. Philadelphia heads to Washington to face the Valor. I've got the Philadelphia Soul winning this one, and here's why. First of all, the Valor may have won the Arena Bowl championship last year, but the Soul won the 2 before that, so they have some experience. Now, second of all, if there's anybody that can stop Arvell Nelson, it's Philadelphia's secondary. And thirdly, did everybody forget how good Dan Radenbaugh is? I mean, come on, the guy has the same amount of passing touchdowns as Arvell Nelson and a former Arena Bowl MVP in Darius Prince. How can you beat that, Wes? I mean, how can you not pick the Soul?
Look, I understand where you're coming from, but let me make something perfectly clear. How can it be the Soul when the game is played in the district? Now, let me explain to you why the Valor are going to win this game. First of all, the Valor have already beat the Philadelphia Soul twice this season, and in both games did so in the last minute. And you're probably thinking, man, those games are close. Well, that's fine with the Valor because 5 out of their 7 wins this season have happened in the last minute. They have a flair for the dramatic. Now, on top of that, Arvell Nelson, MVP candidate quarterback Arvell Nelson, as I've said before, gets it done in the air and on the ground. It's all about DC in this one. I mean, seriously, how do you expect to stop Arvell Nelson? You're not going to. You can only hope to contain him.
I disagree, Wes. If anything, Philadelphia is going to come to the district and paint it teal.
What'd you do to my sign? Well, whatever. Anyway, enough of point and counterpoint. Let's move on to a feature that we're going to do each week concerning the AFL both on the field and off the field. And this week's feature is all about superfan Brian Belewski. Check it out.
So I was at a Arena Football League game and went post-game at a local restaurant. I walk in there and I see Cedric. I'm like, hey, Cedric. He's like, what? Somebody actually knows me? I'm like, yeah, you're the greatest Arena Football League quarterback of all time. He was like, dude, how do you know all this stuff? I'm like, I'm an Arena Football League historian.
All right, so now we are here with AFL historian extraordinaire. That's what I'm going to call him today, Brian Belewski. Brian, I got some questions because we're going to find out just how much he actually knows about the AFL. Are you prepared?
100%. Let's do it.
I'll take 100%. Here we go. First question's up. What sporting event was AFL founder Jim Foster attending in 1981 when he came up with the idea for arena football?
He was at an indoor soccer game at Madison Square Garden.
Okay, name the Arena Football League's original 4 teams that played in 1987.
Denver Dynamite, Chicago Bruisers, Washington Commandos, and Pittsburgh Gladiators.
My gosh, this is rapid fire. Which team became the AFL's first dynasty by playing in the league record 6 straight Arena Bowls?
Detroit Drive.
Come on, the Arena Football League has had only one non-US based team in the league history. What was that team?
Toronto Phantoms.
Good grief. What is the most points scored in an AFL game by a single team?
101.
Wow. My notes say 99 by the
99 by the New York Dragons against the Carolina Cobras.
And you remember who it was against?
Oh, I missed that one by 2 points.
No matter what, Joe Hills has the longest streak of consecutive games played with a touchdown reception at 103 and counting. Who is the active player with the second highest streak?
Malachi Jones with 24 games.
What year is the first AFL All-Star game played?
1995.
So close. 93, but what city was it held in?
Des Moines, Iowa.
See, he even gets the half part of the question right. Which two teams played the only outdoor AFL game ever?
That was in Spokane. It was a Spokane Shock against, you get me there. The Arizona Rattlers.
Close. Utah Blaze.
Utah Blaze, gotcha.
Wow. Like,
Those are some,
that was fun, brother.
enjoyed it.
You got all, look, I would have gotten one of those right, and you got all this stuff right. You really do know your AFL stuff, man. Why do you love the game so much?
It's a great sport, 50-yard indoor war. Fans are passionate, players are passionate, and just, to me, it's something that you're a part of if you're a fan. Other sports leagues, you're not really that close, but we're right on the wall, and it's some great memories. Hopefully this upcoming Arena Bowl 32 will be another great season to remember, a great game to remember as well.
Brian, thanks so much, buddy.
Hey, I appreciate it, Wes.
Absolutely. Hey, Meredith. He knows his stuff.
He really does. Now take your time coming over here because it's time now to bet on us. And we're going to go through our Draftkings lineups for this upcoming weekend. We're going to highlight just a couple players. Now, Wes, I'm going wide receiver heavy this week. I'm taking wide receiver Malachi Jones from the Empire and Joe Hills from the Baltimore Brigade. For me, Malachi is an easy pick. You know, he's among the best in receiving yards, touchdowns, catches, and Joe Hills, he just plays well against the Empire. He had 4 touchdowns in the first half of the game when they played each other in the beginning of the season.
Well, every good receiver has to have a great quarterback, and that's why I'm going with the gunslingers, Dan Radabaugh and Arvell Nelson. Both of these guys know how to lead their team, and both of them have championship pedigree as well. Now, I have to be honest, I always pick Arvell Nelson every week in our matchups because I'm chasing another person who plays with us, Dan Nolan. But in all seriousness, these are going to be some great matchups. Both of these guys know how to play hyper-competitive football, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Me too, and you can catch them on the AFL Network. All the action starts on Saturday at 7 p.m. when the Albany Empire hosts the Baltimore Brigade. And then Sunday, the action continues. 3:30 p.m., the Philadelphia Soul travels to Washington to face the Valor.
And make sure you follow us all on social media at Official AFL. Hit us up, tweet us, all right? That's enough for this week. We're getting out of here. We'll see you next week. See if you got a little arm action. Hold on.
Let's see if I
I
can
just
do
want to see
this.
if you can get it right here. Just right here.
Oh, that was so
I'll
bad.
take it. I'll still call it.
All right, nice job, Wes.